then we'll take it as such. Alright. Here we go. I think it's going to be knife time. Shanks v Shanks. Crossing swords. It's going to be the CTs that take it. I never have cast this knife round. I don't think I ever will. I don't have those sadistic skills. I'm not a rap god. Jeez, I wish I could show you this. There's a spider literally the size of my hand just crawling along the wall. I'm not even joking. I caught out the side of my eye, the corner of my eye, and I thought I was seeing things because I'm like so tired, but like that's legit a massive spider. Holy crap. Alright, so if I stop casting it's because I've been eating. I'm dead. I can't show you. Wood face. Here we go. Enough about spiders, enough about terrifying things in the room. We've got some terrorists charging down Simple. He's about to face against 5 of them. What a tap! Mid-air FNX gets destroyed. Gray gonna come out. That could do quite a bit of damage as well. Banks off the wall and Simple bags himself too. Very nice work overall there. And now it's up to coldzera to pick up the bomb and try and get this working. Seized and Edward both with headshots. coldzera's gonna get the bomb planted. And now he has the arduous task of a 1-on-4. And it simply will not happen. So Simple's opening 2 picks made all the difference. A decent hold overall for the CTs. But SK, do you get the bomb planted? So, decisions to be made. Do they want to force in here or save up for some AKs? They're going to go for a very similar buy to what we saw on Train, and that's give Fallen the scout. Makes a lot of sense on a map like Dust2. Vast open areas. Headshot to Flamey! Good night, sit down. And that's one of the B defenders. Now, this allows the rest of the terrorists now to barrel through onto B site if they so choose. They are going to be up against Seized, who has an M4. Who could be an absolute nightmare to deal with. But meanwhile, actually, look at this. Aggressive plays from Edward. He's coming up mid. Alongside Simple, is going to be barreling out of long. And Showtime's going to fall, but there is a second player there. It's still going to be Fallen, who's peering across from T-Spawn. In the meanwhile, in mid, there's confrontation. FNX is going to go 1-on-1 against Seized. And Seized and Edward will come out on top. And that's going to leave the man that started this round off. Hold on a second. Why in the actual hell is there 60 minutes left in this round? I mean, I'm all for giving the terrorists a chance, boys, but 60 minutes? Really? So Fallen, you have got a bit of time to play with, mate. There's no rush. Wait long enough, they may die of old age. That's going for you. Spots the barrel. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a restart here, guys. Puts the bullet down range anyway. Fall's gonna go for the sexy shot. Lands it. Seized goes down. Oh my Fallen, have my babies. He's on for the ace! Oh, he so nearly lands it, pulls out the Glock, but Guardian is going to ruin the party with the M4. Now doing such a sexy clutch, an ace, everything. So, is it still going to have the 60-minute stuff, or is that going to be gone? Let's see. It's gone. Sweet. Fallen has another scout as a result of 4 frags in the previous round. He can afford to get this again. No shots landing so far. Fallen. Such a beast with the weapon. Edward gets caught with his pants down. MP9 in hands. 30 bullets of misery for the terrorists, especially considering no one has armor, so MP9 will cut through them very abruptly. But the catwalk stack is real as SK look to chime together once more and push out onto short side. Two players will be waiting for them, Guardian and Simple. And now they decide, okay, we've tried to sell the fake up catwalk, let's now push mid. Flamey is there, though, to repel them. And although he isn't good for any more frags, he is able to pull himself back onto the site. Meanwhile, Edward is coming around the backside. We mentioned before about how the MP9 is going to rip through the terrorists, and there's the headshot, point-blank range. 3-0 for NAVi. Didn't lose any players that round, though. 3 of them exceptionally low, below 15 health. But not quite enough. Fallen has an AWP. It's going to be glass cannon, however. Guardian still has the scout. Fallen doesn't have a great spawn either, so if he's not careful, he could get picked off. Caesar's going to go for the smoke. Let's look at it from his perspective here. Fallen's actually dropped down to suicide. So, eerie, calm deafness lands on the battlefield. Neither team trying to poke or prod one another. Sees misses out on that shot narrowly. This opens up things for coldzera. He's going to pull back. Guardian, the meanwhile, makes the most of that lapse and picks up the frag, but Fallen's there, having the back of his teammate. The frag's being exchanged, but the bomb in the hands of the trusty Fallen. So, he can just stick here for now. Flamey throws the smoke. Fallen knows his player on the left-hand side. That smoke's not too great. Fallen can still see up there. So he doesn't know that nobody's crossed at this point. That call will come through. And now we're going to see Edward. He's already picked up a kill. He's going to be one-on-one against Fallen. Switches out to the AK-47. Will back away. Fallen, in the meanwhile, though, is undeterred by this. He's heard the footsteps, so he's not going to now use this opportunity to push on through. And meanwhile, coldzera has made up a lot of ground on short, so it doesn't look great. But this is doable for SK. If they pick up this frag on Simple, which they have, it wasn't a clear-cut frag. coldzera does go down to minimal health, but Fallen has his back. There's the grenade, though, from CT side. And now Fallen, with 15 seconds, has to get a move on. The smoke is going to keep him okay to get by, but he's actually going to push through it for the frag. You can see what he's going for, but that's where the lack of Kevlar really hurts. You can see his aim going up towards the sky as the aim punch came in. Even if he landed that shot, though, it was a rough ask for him to get onto the site, and that bomb planted in the lack of time that was remaining. So, SK lost the first map. I believe it was 16-9, if memory serves me correctly. And they're now losing 4-0. If you're having issues with Twitch, guys, some people saying about black screens and such, try refreshing. It fixes a lot of the issues with Twitch. Just give it a cheeky refresh, you should be good to go. Guardian's out first. NAVi playing hyper-aggressive. coldzera with 2 one-taps. And he could get a third. It's Simple's the next player to peek him. Simple's going to get taken down from FNX, and what is happening? This round should never be going the way of SK. This easily. This convincingly. One player after another just go out into the Desert Eagle and get picked off. I know it's all unseized. P250 and AWP, but he's going to trade out for the MP9. Normally wouldn't advise that, but in this situation, very much the correct decision, you have to feel. The only downside is the mid to long engagements with the MP9 are far from ideal, so he may struggle a little bit here. And there we go, the M4 holds firm. SK with their first round on the board. Break the curse. But comes off the back of a very aggressive push through mid, which just saw one-taps landing left, right, and centre. Sees where the AWP doesn't have Kevlar though, so he's going to be just pushing to B by himself. The rest of the team actually will be coming through, and that's going to be Taco. Takes a couple of very optimistic shots downrange through long. Doesn't land on really anything. But he's going to stick around for the long haul. Meanwhile, the bomb transitioning its way through the B lower tunnels. So as ever, the terrorists keeping mid-control. This does open up their choices. Guardian in a bit of a sketchy position. The flashbang and the missed shot is going to cost him his life. Flamey can trade out to the AWP. In the meanwhile, this is going to force Seized into an aggressive play, looking for information desperately. Bit of a standoff between him and Showtime. Neither wanting to budge an inch. This kill could change everything. If Showtime gets this frag, that bomb could very quickly wrap itself round to the B site. There are 2 players now on B. As Flamey's joined up with Seized. Are they going to go for a 2-man push up tunnels? Because this could end in a catastrophe. It looks like they will. So let's take it on board with Showtime. If he peaks at the right moment here, he could have a couple of frags for himself and pretty much shut down this B attack. And there we go. First one lands. He's going to expect the double stack. Looks like he won't be, but Flamey's gun barrels are stuck through the side. The flashbang's on point, and Showtime with the spray down will open up B. Edward desperately needs to get this kill, which he has done. Meanwhile, Simple picks up the AWP kill, so 3 on 2. But B has been claimed. Oh, Edward misses out on his shot, and honestly, Simple at this point may just be thinking about saving. Maybe a couple of exit frags could be his. That's 2 missed shots, and I doubt he's going to get many more opportunities. That flashbang that was thrown out from Fallen's teammate from Taco blinds him and gives Simple the chance to get the kill. A comedy of errors. Simple's going to go down anyway, but Fallen's like, thanks, mate. Cheers. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Taco. It's alright though. SK have broken the economy for the CTs. Taco, I'm going to try and make amends. Double orbs with an auto sniper, because why the hell not? Showtime's having fun. Full stack on A long for NAVi, and this could end in tears. FNX is there with Fallen. They're going to crossfire with AWPs. It's the firing squad, the Glocks, the P250s, the kitchen sink being thrown in the face, in the eyes of the CTs. And the meanwhile, Taco's getting himself round the back. Simple. CZ. And a prayer. And really not much else. He nearly gets the kill onto Taco. That would have been impressive. Seized 10 and 4, Fallen at 10 and 5. Both AWPing on Dust2. It is an AWPer's playground, really. We're expecting your AWPs to be landing a whole bunch of frags. What's interesting to me is Guardian, who's typically quite the animal with the AWP, is struggling down at just 2 frags. Goes for the aggressive play, pays off for him, goes through the smoke, uses it as a screen to get back out again. Very nicely done. Crisp execution of a play. Tackle in the meanwhile, going for the spray, but comes out second best, and that's definitely going to smart for SK now. FNX, though, does do his best to bring it back to equality. 4 on 3. 2 players on each site. Albeit with Simple chilling on short, using that smoke, just a little gap. Towards mid. He could find himself Showtime, who is set up in position, just ready, waiting for someone to rotate between the sites. And there's no smoke either for NAVi, so I definitely wouldn't expect them to go for a peek on mid. Now, trading off so FNX has the AWP, this allows him to play a bit more passive with the low HP and allows Showtime to go in and try an entry maybe with the AK. Fallen. He's going to have CT side smoked for him. This now isolates the 2 sites from one another. This could force NAVi into a bit of an aggressive play to try and find something. That's exactly what Simple's gone for. His position, not great though to deal with the 2 catwalk pushers. But fortunately for him, Guardian's on point. And just as I was saying, he was on 2 frags at the start of this round. He finishes on 5. 3 kills. Very nice AWP work. And important that he lands all those shots. If he doesn't, the T's could have overwhelmed the A site. And well, this could have gone a very different way. Yeah, Fur's dealing with some ear issues right now, so he's sidelined. That's why Showtime's playing instead. His flashes selling a bit of a fake. That's 3 flashes used. Quite a bit of utility expended without too much progression. It does keep 3 players interested on the site, but it's not as if they've made any leeway elsewhere. Seized eats an AWP shot, I believe that was, partially through the doors. So down to 22 he will fall. And again, mid control is by and large totally taken up from SK. And you can see that NAVi again struggling for grenades with a large chunk of the round left. Seized up. Oh, the smoke is going to prove to be his downfall. He was assuming that no one would be pushing at that angle, but they were. They line up, and Flamey's going to go for 2 frags. He can even get a third. He starts shooting at his teammate, who was Simple, who was trying to push his way back into the site, but down he goes. And now Guardian. If that had landed, I'd have just left the server, because that would have been filthy. The bomb planted and Fallen has the unenviable task of clutching a 1 versus 2 against Edward and Guardian of NAVi. The good sides, he has the bomb planted and 100 health with an AWP. The downsides, well, he's against Guardian. And Edward's not too bad either. He has a flash and a smoke. But he does have the element of surprise. The first frag is connected, but there's Guardian. And that will be a defuse. The kit in the hands of Guardian. It was close, but good enough. NAVi take a 6-3 lead now. Another bomb plant, though. So money's still ticking over for the terrorists, but it's not really enough to get a full buy-in. They probably could go for some AKs, but, I mean, you desperately want AWPs on this map, really. This could suggest you may see a fast play. Fallen could also pick up a scout. We've seen him do this in the past. But it's going to be 2 Galils. 2 Galils, 3 AKs. A solid firepower. It's at the sacrifice of AWPs or full AKs, but I'm sure they'll live with it. And a very aggressive play outside of long. It's Edward who's in the pit. He's taking damage. He's taking flashbangs. He's doing what he can to stay alive for as long as possible. Here comes a flash from his teammate, hence him turning his back on the angle, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive or take any of the assailants down. Quickly, NAVi will rotate. 3 players strong on A. This does leave B very vulnerable indeed. And you can see maybe this was the idea the whole time. They have Showtime over with Taco, the bomb in hand, and they're now going to take B for free. So the plan worked to a charm. Not just a frag, but forcing the players to rotate position. Sees with 1 kill, but that's not good enough to keep the B site, and it's not good enough to keep this round going the way of NAVi. Judging from their positions right now, they're not that interested in going for the retake. That being said, though, landing the frag onto Cold Zero could keep their options open, but Flamey, the 1 player over on the B side of the map, has fallen down, and that gives their retake potential a real kick in the backside, but they're still going for it. They have kits. They've got a couple of smokes in the flash. One's just been expended from Simple onto the site. Guardian with a flash as well. And they've picked up Taco. The flashes are on point. Fallen eats one to the face, and that's all on Simple, who's picked up the first frag, but FNX is there for the avenging kill. And SK drag it back 1 round closer. And because NAVi have consistently lost a lot of players in these rounds, they are onto an eco. They are pretty much totally broken. So, weren't really expecting a great deal for NAVi in this round with just pistols, but they have already lost the first player, as Showtime will be pushing his way up. A nice split. Divide and conquer mentality. Showtime with the MP7 is just racking up the kills, racking up the funds. Flamey goes for the rotation. He's next to fall, now seized with his $300 pistol. All that remains. He's going to come head-to-head with Cold Zero, Mach 10. Selling in the 2 SMGs in first, the expendable weapons. If you lose them, no big deal. But they both picked up 2 frags. That's money in the bank. And NAVi, herein lays the issue. They had like $1.6 to $2,000 on CT side. Of course, the more expensive the sides to get a full buy on, they are pretty much into a double eco now. But interestingly, Edward has gone for a mag. So let's see where he's going to play with this. Opting to go on B site. Makes a lot of sense. More the post-claustrophobic of the 2 maps. Flashes and smokes. This is where the Mach 7 can really shine. And the frags are going in. You can see him tapping across, expecting the full-on charge out of B tunnels, but that wasn't forthcoming. And meanwhile, trying to go aggro elsewhere through short, just kill after kill for SK. And the opening pick from the Mag 7 seems like it's not going to yield too much results. I was about to say, C's did pick up the AK from the corpse of SK, but he's been put 6 foot under. Looking at the score, Fallen now top fragging by a bit of a margin, 14 and 8. And Edward on the prowl. Wouldn't be a terrible weapon to save, but Mag 7, not necessarily the greatest for a map like Dust 2, which is mainly medium to long range affairs. Mag 7 is godlike on maps like Cobblestone. Not quite so much on Dust 2, although it could definitely be used to devastating effect in the right hands, as we saw from Edward before. Aim punch, and the AK is going to put down Edward 6-6. And very similar to how Train started, just back and forth, without either team really starting to take an advantage. It was really after the second half that finished 9-6 to NAVi. They secured the second pistol and started to move ahead on rounds. Double ops. Seized and Guardian. Seized has a good spawn for mid. Guardian's going to go up long A. He could very well meet Fallen. Misses his shot, and now it's Fallen's chance to retaliate. Simple pushes out with him and gets picked off. And Fallen escapes. Is Guardian just a bit too worried? If he got picked off as well, then A is just totally open. So, indecision, maybe NAVi's biggest weakness in this round thus far. Nice kill, and the C's gets tagged on the cross, down to 20. Such a brutal start for the CTs here. Guardian with the frag. And he's actually going to be sitting up on the catwalk now. It's a position a lot of AWPers will use. Decides to go aggro instead. A lot of AWPers will just play static at this point. Just wait, but this is, in a nutshell, is Guardian's style and why he's such a terrifying player to come up against. Cold Sarah through the wall on C. Beautiful shot. The volley bounces off his teammate's head. No big issue though, because they've picked up the frags. And that molly, strangely enough, actually keeps the CTs at bay for a couple of seconds. It was burning Guardian's toes. He had 8 health for it. Bomb now down. Taco watching the window side. In the meanwhile, Cold Zera's on the overwatch. Peeking through. Has to be wary of tunnels, just in the off chance that it is going to be a stack. Does not land the shot in mid-air, but it's all up to Taco. And now here we go. Edward, 1-on-2, has a kit, but he's been tagged up through the doors. Not long for this, Will, surely. No, he's got the first kill. Trying to trade across, but it's not good enough. SK regain the lead once more, 7-6. Every time I check chat, it's like, never again. It's a deco, boys. Other than Simple, who's gone for the armor, spoiling it. It's to equalize the economy. Actually, it's not. He's put himself in a bit of a hole here, so he has to deliver, and he's the first to fall. They go for the Deagles. Hasn't paid off thus far. Edward, in a very aggressive position, gets flashed, gets found out and fragged, and now the remaining CTs both on B side. Hoping, praying that someone gives them a free frag for a gun. Taco's going to be the man to do just that. Guardian picks it up. Try and run away, but he's got 1:15 if he wants to try and save this gun, which is, yeah, it's asking quite a bit. Maybe have a position, try and get some exit frags, see what happens. He's got 8 bullets though, so there we go. It does tilt me a little bit. It's like an OCD thing where I see someone not reload with like 8 bullets and they've got loads of time. He gets picked off anyway. That's going to be at the hands of Fallen. SK looking to actually return the favour. It was them that trailed 9-6 in the first half of the first map. And now they're on schedule to do the same for themselves. Auto snipers. Let's see. Go on then. Go on then, Showtime. Show me what the auto sniper can do. They're running through it, and it's a complete wreckage up mid, but Seized has actually answered back. He eats a lot of damage for his troubles, but actually lands it onto Showtime. I'm pretty sure that was through smoke as well. Let's go for the preemptive shot. It connects. Flamey's dead. coldzera has picked himself up a kill. Fallen in the meanwhile up short as well. And it's going to be landing the AWP, flashing over. Sees what can you get done from mid? Again, we've seen this happen so many times from NAVi where one side just capitulates and then they're on for the retake, and it's so rough on maps like Dust, especially when you have two AWPs and no nades other than a flash. There's really no hope here. This would have to be a ridiculous individual performance from either Seized or Simple, or some massive dirt moments for SK. Let's see. Simple's just been legs, so it's not looking good. One kill lands. Don't do a summit, Simple. Second kill. Nice attempts, but SK will take the 9-6 lead at half-time, with Fallen dropping 17 frags in the first half of play. Very nicely done. SK in a pretty solid position. I would still say that I think Dust2 is pretty damn even, if not slightly favouring the Ts. Depending on the teams, of course. But we saw there a couple of times, if you can break the CT economy, then there are 3 rounds to be had. And NAVi were forced into very desperate plays, stacking sites, rushing up mid with pistols and such. So that is one way that NAVi can get themselves back into this game. Simple just playing the scouter. No real hope for him to get a kill with a Glock from this kind of range. If he does, that'd be ridiculous. But he's just looking for information. And he may find it at the hands of Fallen. If he peeks out too much longer, Fallen is crazy good at these kind of ranges. So you have to be very wary of this. Confrontation. FNX is going to come out. Flashbang to his face. Has to relocate. But not really any cost at all for SK. They can afford to do this. I say that, but he gets picked off from Flamey and face plants to the dirt. Opens up A nicely, but Fallen is now there. You can hear the footsteps. He's going to be looking for that opportunity. Headshot, and he's landed the first one. Very nicely done. He knows at least one player on the site itself, but what he may not realise is Guardian's pushing up long. Now that information has been gathered, and he's going to be going back in with the Glock once more. The bomb moving on to A. This is going to be a plant. So, a lot better than it originally looked for NAVi. Fallen lands the headshot. Guardian, 1 on 4. 3 players a bullet or so away from death, however. This is actually doable. First one has landed, but he's been tagged up so heavily. 2 health remains. He's going to go for a third one, but the knives are coming in. And the bayonet charge has connected. coldzera will get himself a fair chunk of change. Ran out of bullets, ran out of time, ran out of life. Nice try by NAVi, but that is a big moment in this game. SK winning the pistol really does leapfrog them up. So NAVi are going to be coming back with a bit of strength. AK and Scout. Already an AWP for Fallen. At the lack of grenades, but very powerful at this stage of the game. Plus Kevlar, so not an easy frag whatsoever. FNX playing aggro up on long. Gets picked off by Flamey's hands. That one dig. Delicious. And just like that, coldzera has to make a track over. He was watching sort of like mid-side with Fallen. He has to quickly scamper across and make sure that long isn't ripe for the taking. And in doing so, Fallen now doesn't have the same crossfire, so he has to pull back into CC spawn. This is giving so much space and real estate for the terrorists, and they are going to oblige with another one-tap, and surprise, surprise, it's Flamey. 2 deagles for him. And it's getting a whole lot worse now. Showtime has connected a scout headshot, so that's going to give them a brief glimmer of hope, but coldzera, I've just seen him getting snuck up on from the backside. It's Edward that takes him down. Showtime now misses the first one. And Flamey rounds it off. He got the first kill, he got the last kill, and he's got an AWP. So, NAVi were looking like they could just start to slip away, but that is a fantastic time to pull this back. And similar to what we saw when the roles were reversed, SK now find themselves in a double eco situation. So, Taco's just going to go for the buy. They have to eco twice anyway, so may as well get some firepower into this round. But I'm saying they should eco twice. You never quite know. Maybe they'll throw a spanner in the works. Something crazy. Of course, I switch as he gets AWP'd. Brilliant. Seized is going to be accompanied by the flashbang out. Just in the off chance that any CT is holding the close angles. Not the case. I'm now going to make the most of this on towards the B play. Showtime can hear footsteps, but he's only got a P250. And his sidearm not quite powerful enough to stop the onslaught. NAVi with a pretty comfortable take onto B, and it should be a comfortable cleanup now. Come on, Fallen. Unfortunate. Fallen USP, no Kevlar, no chance. Seized gets the frag. 3 kills in that round, padding his stats in the eco. And here is what I was talking about before. SK simply have to eco again. Mid 3000s. Definitely nowhere near enough funds to get a decent buy together. And if they did go for a 4C, you're effectively giving away 3 or 4 rounds. So it is going to be another eco. Deagle, P250s. Will be a solid buy in the next round. But it looks like it should be NAVi pulling themselves pretty close by, as Flame needs to be pushing through along. But actually, I say this should be NAVi pulling themselves back into this game, but they've lost the majority of the frags here. The trades go the way of SK. Strength in numbers approach. Edward on the B site. The bomb's nowhere near, however. But the CTs don't quite know that just yet, so they're still 100% biting onto this one as coldzera misses a couple of deeks. And considering that Edward was on 33 health, that should have been a guaranteed frag. Edward almost looking around like, how the hell am I still alive? He had to drop on him and everything, but instead he will fall. And NAVi, after a crippling start to the round, have remedied and rescued the situation, and they will take the round. But man, that's got to be scary. Fallen should be holding on to this AK. I'm pretty sure. Just hold the angle. And it gets closer to the explosion. Just back away. Save the AK. And bolster their buy in the next round. He's got 3.8k as well. So he has the most funds on his team. Can easily afford an AWP and drop the AK to somebody else. Yeah, this skin though. Nasty. And save it he shall. NAVi didn't hunt, although they do have a lot of funds to play with, so I'm a little bit surprised by that. There's now 3 AWPs, by the way, on SK. So I'm throwing it out there. Triple AWP setup. Let's go. Why the hell not? It's Dust2. Let's see if it works. Well, opening signs pointing towards NAVi as they land the first shot through the doors. Showtime down to 20. And, well, this is almost the perfect counter to a 3 AWP setup. It's just super aggressive. Get in the face. Get all up in the grill over the CTs. Don't allow the long-range weapons any room to breathe whatsoever. And a blitzkrieg onto B has worked perfectly. They're just shooting SK down where they stand. SK have nothing to retaliate with. FNX with one of the 3 AWPs into this round on the CT side, 2 of which have been saved. I don't think we'll see 3 AWPs coming again, to be honest. And FNX goes for 1 peak too many. Up in the grill, Craigasm. So again, Fallen has the task of saving, 22 and 13. Caesar's now starting to get a move on, 17 and 13. And again, NAVi, everyone really pulling their weight. No one's underperforming. To be fair, neither on SK Gaming. Everyone's got nearly double digits. Oh, Fallen. You are ridiculous. Oh, Fallen, you are ridiculous. It doesn't mean a great deal at the end of the day, but Jesus. You can enjoy the frags, can't you? Doesn't matter if they're in super impactful rounds or not. The guy has talent and a lot of it. Taco forced onto a 5-7. Scout for Showtime. And look at this push again. NAVi do not respect this B hold at all. Their second consecutive round, they've just barreled through onto the site. They've smoked and flashed. Perfect takes. And they're looking far too strong for the CTs to deal with. Taco now going to be trying to pop flash his way back into the site with a 5-7. Pushing through the smoke. Edward should have had it, but actually comes out second best in that confrontation. Fortunately for him, C's is there to pick up the pieces. But elsewhere on the map, Simple was trying to lurk on long and got picked off by Fallen. Now C's pushes out, double spray down in effect. No hope for SK. They were caught trying to flash onto the site. Just unfortunate timing as far as they're concerned. And, well, Fallen's going to go for the third consecutive save. Or is he? He's landing headshots, has to back away. There's no kit on either of the CT, so it is going to be NAVi's round. They will regain the lead. The question is, how many weapons will SK take out of this round? And the answer is, probably one. Yeah, Fallen's not going to get picked off. So, Fallen will save again. And, again, SK's economy is in dire straits. Maybe a couple pistols. Go for a buy in the next one. They have round loss bonus coming up the next, so I'd expect to see some pistols come in here. CZ the Eagle. What a shot from Fallen. Guardian had no time to react whatsoever, and now Fallen, after getting the first frag, decides to just charge straight up mid. That's going to cost him his life to the hands of Simple. But you could see that he was trying desperately to make something out of nothing, and he couldn't respect that. The CZ in the meanwhile is doing so much damage. coldzera finally gets put down, but he gets a frag and 99 damage onto Edward. So a crazy good trade, considering he only had a pistol to his name. Showtime sees the barrel of the gun sticking around the corner. Can't convert. Seized too strong. And again, you've got to say, this round, very unfortunate. SK have been close on a number of occasions. Now the bomb's been spotted momentarily on Simple. There was maybe a chance of bringing it back to one-on-one, but Simple, too strong with the AWP. I mean, someone has to help Fallen out here. 28 and 14 after 22 rounds of Counter-Strike. And his team is losing 12 to 10. That's not something you often see. So who is going to be the man to stand tall with Fallen, if anyone? Is it going to be FNX in this round? Well, the first kill suggests maybe. There was a casualty, and it is the talisman. It is the man mountain of Fallen who bites the dust first. This does allow NAVi their way onto the site. Going to get the plant for short. But Taco may have something to say about this plant. And Simple is still holding the angle here from mid, so he's not giving anything up just yet. This does allow him, if he sees nobody crossing, which I think Showtime just spotted him there. Very unfortunate. Simple pulls out the smoke. I was going to say he could bolster up the defenses on Catwalk, but now he's got picked off. Edward has everything ahead of him. He could pick up a hatful of frags, but Flamey's going to take one away from him. It's now all on Edward. He has the Molotov. He's going to bank it off the wall onto the site, but the smoke is going to defuse it instantly. There's not a lot of time left, but what a shot that is by coldzera, and there's not going to be enough time. SK are going to concede the round. A heartbreaking loss. NAVi just about did enough. So close, yet so far. SK are going to be in ruins. There's a couple of FAMASs, a scout and AWP. And if SK lose this round, it will have round loss, of course, coming up. It's not going to be a great buy. So this could be one of their last chances to really bounce back on this map. Simple toying with the B defense. Taco gets the frag onto Simple. A big kill. Alleviates so much of the pressure that was being applied. B has typically been the weaker of the sites. Throughout a couple of extra CTs. Opens up A nicely. But SK getting that first kill means so much, especially when their economy is in the dirt as it is right now. This would be a huge round for them to pick up, and Fallen is going to get the second frag, and this instantly puts a big hand in the face of NAVi and says, not on A, not just yet. Need to get a frag elsewhere first. Maybe that will force out SK from their hidey holes. They have a couple of smokes. They're going to use one of them to block off the CT side. And Guardian just runs straight into the meat grinder. So suddenly 5 become 2. And NAVi with 40 seconds left have to try and make a miracle occur. Seized, eating damage as he tries to push on through. He does get the one frag, but there's the trade-off. And SK have held firm for this round at least and only lose one player. So they can easily replenish that weapon. They also traded off a scout for an AWP, I believe, and picked up an AK or two. So all things considered, I think it's fairly heavily shifting their way. But NAVi, who won 7 rounds in a row, including 4 bomb explosions, are sitting pretty with a bunch of money they can use. Can even buy into the next round. It may be a bit shaky of a buy, but they certainly could. So he's getting tagged once again. Looks like we could have some confrontation up along once that smoke clears. Edward, that grenade actually did a lot more damage than I thought it may have done. Down 34, and now Simple takes the opportunity to just barrel straight through short, lands the headshot onto Fallen. Once again, Fallen is the man that's been holding a lot of rounds together for SK, giving them life in rounds that it seemed all hope was lost. FNX with the trade. But Simple's good for yet another kill. Bomb being planted. Now Flamey's eating damage, and in the meanwhile has to relocate to plant that bomb. That's a bit too much health, honestly. Perhaps in communication, maybe. Maybe the molly just spread at the very end and he wasn't expecting it. What we do know is the bomb has been planted, and judging from the positions of SK, they're already tapping out. They want no part of this. Because they've just reset their own loss bonus, it's almost the worst possible thing to win then lose a round. So I want to keep as many weapons as they can in play. The problem is, though, don't NAVi know it. They are going for the jugular. They are trying to stamp down on the throat of SK and leave them nothing left. Vincere, important spray down. These 2 weapons could be massive. SK will hold on to both of them, but let's see what the buy is going to be like behind it. They can drop a few weapons. They can get a full buy. That's why those 2 weapons were of utmost importance. If one of those go, or both of them go, let me see if a mass, maybe a 5.7D or something like that instead of the full arsenal weapons that we currently have. 3 AWPs, 2 of which are on the CT side. It's Taco who gets tagged on the cross this time. And now NAVi are like for a fast play in mid. They've done this on B a couple of times. Now it's going to be mid. And it could be this man Taco to hold it off. He's holding the off angle there. Nicely done. Now this puts a lot of pressure on Vincere, who's going to die instantly. Vincere now going through. Dead and buried. FNX from the back. 2 separate areas of attack for SK. Fallen, FNX. Fallen's going to be coming through the CT side. So he's playing this one fairly slow right now. Just going to be peering. I'm pretty sure he was peering up towards window. Yeah, absolutely. Wants to make sure no one goes for that cheeky peek. And meanwhile, FNX came in from tunnels. And this now puts NAVi in such a bad position. They didn't even have the bomb planted. So it's not as if they could just sit there and say, come at us, bros. Now Guardian actually has to make a play out of nothing. And that's the reason Fallen was watching the window for that peek. So SK, somehow, some way, have kept themselves alive on the map. NAVi could potentially buy, and they will buy. I was about to say if they do, however, it may be at the cost of some armor behind the AWP. Maybe a glass cannon AWP, but instead I think C's actually dropped the AWP. Yes, he did. He dropped the AWP to Guardian. So Guardian has the full-on AWP, but this puts C's with the Galil and no armor behind it, so he is very weakened. I think we're playing over on B site by himself. He may be weakened, but if Showtime and Taco push out and don't check the angle, C's could just get a double spray down. So this could very quickly go in the way of NAVi. Intelligently smoking out, making sure they're not taking any unnecessary risks. Fallen also, by the way, dropped to 30 with that shot onto Guardian. So very handy work He's now going to be watching from car up onto catwalk. No one so far from NAVi is testing him, but Simple and Flamey may be about to step up to the plate and see if they can dethrone the king of Dust 2, or at least he has been so far. coldzera chilling around CT. Very slow, steady rounds. Not a great deal of grenades to use for either team. There's 2 smokes in the hands of NAVi, but there's only flashes and a decoy for SK. This could be a big deal, actually. You can't fend off any of the areas. There's a flashbang to try and deter the original push, and Guardian gets picked off. So that's actually a pretty decent trade. A FAMAS for an AWP, albeit with Flamey picking it up, but it's not quite the same level as Guardian. You can see he realizes himself. He just switches across back to the AK again. Edward with 2 kills, both headshots, opening up A with surgical precision, and Simple and Flamey come back into the mid area and just wreak havoc. That is ridiculous. And look at SK's economy. They've been dancing around trying to keep themselves afloat for so long. But now when it counts, now when there's 3 rounds to save, it's 5.7s, it's a Mag 7 and P250s. They do have a deagle. Maybe Taco can pull off something crazy, but this should be NAVi's. We have seen the pistols reign supreme a few times today. And that's going to be a stinging start. Showtime next up to the chopping block, or is he? The hunter becomes the hunted. Nice work. Simple flashing his way through catwalk. FNX in the meanwhile, though, being cheeky behind the staircase, will pick the kill up and pick an AK. So 2 AKs now on the side of SK. And as a result of their force buy, they actually have got Kevlar behind it. Meanwhile, Fallen's doing the damage with the 5.7. There's, unbeknownst to him, 2 terrorists about to push his location. The remaining 2, and he will get picked off. Now, vital information was called, both A-long with the bomb. This allows the rest of his team to move in position, but it's going to be FNX by himself for now. That being said, though, both coldzera and FNX are waiting... Sorry, coldzera and Showtime are waiting around the back. Showtime now suggests, well, maybe I should come up through catwalk, and that would be the correct play, especially as Guardian has got his man on the site. 2-1-2. Bomb going to get planted in the next few moments for Flamey. He actually fakes it to make sure there's no one behind the boxes, which there isn't. And now with the bomb plants, the CTs are going to be coming in very separate angles. coldzera up long, going to be going back and forth, just trying to fake out that shot. And that's the reason why, because Showtime was on the prowl. It's now all on coldzera. His teammate got himself 1 kill, took down the AWP, but there's Flamey with the headshot, insta-headshot onto coldzera. And NAVi will pick up the second map, taking this BO2 2-0. Very well played in the end. Some great Counter-Strike.